Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mastering Mindfulness Techniques for Balancing Stress. I'm really excited to bring this information to you today because when you bring that mindfulness piece into your life, it just ebbs and flows out into every aspect of your life. And self care is really key for balancing stress. So, first of all, it's such a joy to meet all of you virtually. And for those of you that are coming back to another webinar, welcome back. It's great to see you again. And if you're meeting me for the first time, I'm Dr. LuLu Shimmick. I'm a naturopathic physician, functional medicine practitioner, author. I just have my new book coming out, and I'll show you that later. Botanical formulator and podcast host of The Genetic Genius. So I'm really an expert in genetic health. I work with patients experiencing chronic disease, hormonal imbalance, endocrine disorders like thyroid disorders, gastrointestinal dysfunction like leaky gut, depression, anxiety, and fatigue. So those are kind of like my main go-tos, but I do help patients with general wellness as well. And I really believe that once we dive deep down into the root of the problem of the distortion in the body and ignite our body's innate ability to heal, we see unimaginable changes in our well-being, right? We just have to have the tools to get started. And my passion lies in helping people discover their zest and joy for life that's really kind of been lost along the way of the path of illness. We were all trying to get back to that place where we have that memory of happiness. And before starting my clinic, Dr. Lu's Naturopathic Clinic, I journeyed through many careers. So, a true Renaissance woman. I studied interior design at the University of Georgia in Athens, and I love art. I'm still like an art geek. And I have a doctorate from the prestigious Bastyr University in Seattle, Washington. I'm also an herbal formulator, like I mentioned, an international speaker. My last wonderful talk was in London, and I can't wait to go back and speak next year at the same conference in Paris. And I'm an author and writer, and as you can see, a webinar host. And I love spreading the message of health and educating about prevention and well-being. And you can check out my new book, Detox, Nourish, Activate, Plant and Vibrational Medicine for Energy, Mood, and Love. And that's on Amazon. Super easy to find. I'll show you that link later. And my podcast, The Genetic Genius, is dedicated to genomics and epigenetics and planetary alternative health. My book focuses on using botanical medicine and other natural modalities to heal the whole body by optimizing vitality, increasing well-being, and enhancing cellular performance. I also facilitate ceremonies to activate plant and mineral medicine connecting points around the world when I travel. And that is to help elevate planetary consciousness and create a community around the world. As a botanical medicine director at the Veterans Healing Farm in Hendersonville, North Carolina, I can share my expertise and love of botanical medicine with the veteran community about using plants to help heal and elevate their lives. I am invigorated. It's my biggest passion to travel, and I'm so happy that travel is opening back up around the world. I love seeing the world with my husband, visiting botanical gardens and herbal gardens around the world, and I'm a foodie, so eating delicious food. So that's just a little bit about me. And if you'd like to learn more about me, you can visit my website. There's all kinds of good stuff there. So let's dive into the presentation for today. So, what are we going to be discussing? What are you going to be learning, right? So, we're going to talk about what mindfulness meditation is, how to start meditating, how to use mindfulness with meditation, the benefits of mindfulness meditation, how to start doing mindfulness meditation, and how to bring essential oils into your meditation practice. So today is really focusing on techniques using meditation to really change and shift the body into a place of balance. So first, let's kind of talk about what is mindfulness meditation. You've probably heard the word mindfulness, but what does that mean to you? This is a time to put your thinking cap on, and let's talk about it together. So mindfulness is a way of being, thinking, and living in the moment, right? Being in that present moment. When we have one step either in the past or the future, it is not being in the present moment, which gets us out of the place of our inner being. And if you're eating a meal, you're focused only on what you're eating, right? Focused on that moment, including the textures, the flavors, and sensations are all around you. And you aren't like watching TV or thinking about your budget meeting at work. You only focus on your meal. And this practice can also be used with meditation. So when you think about that, when you're sitting down at the meal and feeling and seeing and smelling, hearing all those things around you, tuning into your inner bite, so to speak, that's what we're going to be talking about today with meditation and mindfulness. And mindfulness is not easy to pick up right away, especially during a busy day when your negative thoughts and stressful situations kind of like creep in your mind constantly, right? It's like you're trying to tune things out, but we're in a busy world and there's all different types of things that can come into our space and change us, especially if we're very sensitive, not only to our surroundings, but sensitive to anxiety and also to stressful situations. And this is why it's so important to have a meditation practice. And, I think when people think about meditation practice, it can feel a little bit overwhelming, like, oh my gosh, how am I going to meditate? How do I do it? I'm never going to be able to sit still. And that it's so important to learn how to meditate and just start trying it, which is about what this class is all about today. So, how to start meditating, right? Look at this picture. Wouldn't this be like a beautiful place? You're at the beach, sitting on this deck with total peace and quiet, listening to the waves and the birds, the sounds, the wind around you. When you think of those sounds, like being at the beach, that's the kind of like place of solitude that we're creating in our meditative environment. So instead of trying to stress ourselves out, right? That doesn't help in any way. And we want to really start meditating slow and easy. And I always recommend, just trying a few minutes at a time in the beginning, not this massive, like, long period of time, meditating for like an hour at a time. You're not going to be able to do that in the beginning. You just want to start with basic meditating. So first, okay, here's what we do. So you can look at this picture here. Again, this person is in this solitude. So you need to find a place for yourself that is quiet, where you can really focus on the meditation. And so this can be anywhere from your bedroom at night before bed to even the shower, wherever you have that solitude. For some people have a very busy family and the bathroom can sometimes be a place of solitude, or going for a walk, right? Going outside, putting on some music, finding a bench that you like to sit to, or going to the park. If you can do it at home, where you can sit comfortably with your eyes closed, that's kind of the best, right? We're looking for this situation that we can recreate over and over again. But also, it's nice for your body to mix it up and to be like, I love to just go to the lake near my house and sit at the park early in the morning when it's really quiet. That's that time of day before the world starts to wake up, right? And that's a really wonderful time for meditation. I think the yogis say that 3 o'clock is really the best time. That might be a little early for you. It's a little early for me. I think 6 is better for me, but find the place. And also, morning meditation time doesn't have to be your time. You could do evening, but you really want to pick that time where you need it the most. Like I find for myself, I like to do a morning and an evening. One is to set myself up early in the day for that relaxation and that tuning in to my vibration and myself and what I would like to have happen in a peaceful state for the day. And then also this evening time where it's like you're grateful, you're like tuning in, you're just kind of like shedding off the day and getting into a place of rest for sleep. And so start your meditation by focusing on your breathing and only thinking about the breathing. And this is what we're going to be practicing a little bit later today. And you'll also have this recording that you can do over and over again as often as you like. And focus on taking in each breath and letting it out. So when you tune into that breath first, that allows you to have something to focus on. So your mind is not wandering. And I used to live and work at a yoga retreat center in California. We had these wonderful like little rooms, or they were like little domes that you could go and sit in by yourself and meditate. And I always kind of go back to that place when I'm meditating. I'm like, what was that like for me to be in that place of solitude and breathing? Whenever you start to feel your mind wander, thinking about, the grocery list or what you're going to make for dinner or anything, then you want to come right back to your breath. That allows you to come into your body and allows you to refocus, but focus inward. So you're not focusing on anything. You want to think about your lungs. Excuse me. And not about your next meal or all the appointments again, like you have next week or during the day. This simple act of breath will help you to retrain your mind to think about just one thing, which is the essence of both meditation and mindfulness. Thinking about one thing, or really not even thinking. We want to actually like turn off our brain, so to speak, so that we're able to receive just the quiet and the solitude and the peace, that mindfulness component. So, using mindfulness with meditation. So, now that you have a good introduction to meditation, you can start using mindfulness. So, once you get used to sitting quietly and trying to clear your mind of all those like nagging thoughts and only thinking about your breathing, you can then start with a practice of mindfulness, right? Really tuning in to that place of solitude and peace. And this is when you're only concerned again with that present moment, right? We're just thinking or tuning into now. And once you have that breathing practice down, choose just one thought to focus on, which is why it's so easy to just think about our breath. Only one thing happening in this current moment. And anytime your thought wanders to the present or the past, I'm sorry, the future or the past, then just bring yourself back to that thought, back to that moment. And this is a really good introduction into how mindfulness meditation works. And, it can be helpful to focus on, so if you find your mind wandering frequently, a good thing is just to focus on some sounds around you that are kind of like white noise. You can put on a white noise machine, or like the fan or the air conditioner or the hum of the refrigerator, focusing on those sounds, which are just like that's a regular kind of like rotating sound, allows your mind to focus on something so it doesn't wander. So let's talk about the benefits of mindfulness meditation. Like, okay, so great, Dr. Lulu. You're talking all about meditation. Why would I want to do it? Right. And lots of studies have been done. Actually, there's lots of evidence-based medicine on the benefits of mindfulness meditation. I haven't posted them in this webinar, but if you'd like to find out, if you're really into learning about the studies that have been done, you can go to PubMed and PubMed online, and then just put in mindfulness, meditation, and those studies will come up. Okay, so meditation, one thing is great for balancing stress reduction. Huge. We see such an amazing change in the body in cortisol and our stress when we meditate, especially on a daily basis. So, one of the top reasons that people like mindfulness meditation is because it helps to reduce stress, right? And that's kind of like the key of the talk today, or our focus is how we use that mindfulness practice, those techniques to reduce and balance our stress. So when you start meditating and living in the present with mindfulness, you learn how to think about things differently, right? It's like it's when you're coming from that place of inner peace, you can come into a stressful situation with a completely different mindset. And that's really key. So it's not going to like magically get rid of all the stress, because there's things around us happening all around us that we have no control over, and we actually don't want to control them, right? Because when we try to control something, that causes us more stress. But when we have the meditation practice, we're doing that daily, it allows us to help deal with the stressful situations much better, much easier. I'll give you guys a great example. So I was I have my daily meditation practice. It really helps me to get into the moment and be in that present moment during my day and just deal with things on a much easier basis. So I was coming home from my work at the Veterans Healing Farm, and I looked on my phone and it showed a lot of traffic. I was like, well, I'm just going to go a different way today. I'll go all the different back roads and do something different so that I can avoid the traffic. So I'm driving along and I get into this one area of town that's a little bit congested, and I go around the corner and I hear this weird sound. I'm like, what was that? So I, continue to keep driving, and then I start to hear this bump, 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 and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a flat tire. And so I pulled over, and there's two ways I could have easily reacted to that, right? I could have been like, okay, so this is, I could have got upset and angry and it thrown off my whole day and everything. But instead, I just like, well, what can I do here? I could just sit and relax. I can call for help. I can get some tasks done. I can just take a moment to just tune things out and just kind of relax. And so that meditation practice allowed me and to be in that space where I was able to confront that stressful situation in a much, much different way. And that's really the key aspect there. So if you develop a healthy coping mechanism where you understand and appreciate things for what they are and stop dwelling on how much worse they could be, right? It's like we want to be in that present moment instead of thinking like, oh my gosh, what is that next step going to be? It truly is amazing, really remarkable how helpful this can be for overall stress. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't know. Is this really going to work for me? Well, you just have to try it because you can't, it's like with everything in life, even if you don't like broccoli, right? How do you know you don't like broccoli if you don't try it? It's the same thing with meditation. Is it going to help with your stress and anxiety? You don't know until you start it. So, improved memory. So, if you struggle with memory issues, this might be more to do with how much you're trying to keep track of in your mind, right? Memory issues are often linked to negative thoughts and overthinking. And when we have that ruminating thoughts or that hamster wheel mind, we just get stuck on one thought, right? Think, 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 think. We don't have that switch. So, when we start in that with that meditation, it's going to bring that mindfulness piece in, and you'll notice that it's much easier to focus on one thing at a time. I can focus on this, I can see the solution easily, and I can move through that solution. And that allows your memory to start to improve because your brain has more ability to function. You have more energy going to your brain, less thoughts ruminating, and that causes a space of improved memory, which is great. We're all looking for ways to improve our memory, I believe. Okay, better focus and concentration. This is key. If you ever, here's a great example of that. You are in a stressful situation and you are trying to focus on getting something done, right? You're like, okay, I got 20 things around me. I'm trying to focus and you just can't get it done. It's like no matter how much harder you try to focus, nothing happens. So our cognitive function is greatly impaired under times of duress or times of stress. So when we have meditation as a daily practice, it helps include our focus and concentration. Once again, as I just mentioned with the brain and memory, you're changing the way that you think about things. Developing positive attitudes like acceptance, appreciation, gratitude, patience, non judgment. These are all things that come into our being when we come from that place of mindfulness. And this in turn allows us to focus on one thing at a time. We're, I think, huge multitaskers, which can be a detriment to us, right? It helps us if we're a more uni-tracker, where we're doing one thing at a time, getting it done, focusing, concentrating, and just moving on. When we have our focus scattered and all over the place, it doesn't have the same vibration. It doesn't have the same intention, I guess, I think is the word I was looking for. It doesn't have the same intention to that particular thing. So with proper mindfulness and meditation, you then are learning how to adapt to everything around you. So you let go of those negative emotions around that subject or task. You appreciate all the positivity in your life and in that task. So it's very fulfilling, actually, and improves your overall focus in the long run. So this can help with work, school, and anything else you are trying to achieve. So really great for focus and concentration. And if you have the time, let's say you have you have a lot of busy tasks at work. If you have the time and space to just take even a couple minutes for meditation, doing this meditation I'm going to share with you even today, this can really help you refocus and with your concentration. So it's great to do if you can do that at work or in your environment. So studies have also shown that it lowers blood pressure. So if you're having some issues with high blood pressure, meditation is really great for lowering blood pressure. And this comes from a lot of mental and emotional benefits, right? So when it lowers the blood pressure because you have less stress, you're not having all these ruminating thoughts, you're not having your have to beat faster, having the increase in blood pressure, stress, anxiety, those both cause an increase in blood pressure. And a lack of focus can overwhelm your mind, right? It's like way overwhelming to have 20 tasks. But when you have one thing, easy to focus. And it can have that back or long term negative effect on the body. And when you have a long term of high blood pressure, right? And so when we have that meditation practice, it allows that blood pressure to recede, to become lower on a more consistent basis. And then the end can have that longer term effect of having a stable low blood pressure or stable blood pressure. So when you start meditating and using mindfulness in your daily practice, you're going to feel less stressed, less overwhelmed, and your blood pressure can then have a rest. Weight loss. So this might be one you haven't been thinking about or have thought about before. So meditation is actually really beneficial for weight loss. And mindfulness isn't just done in a meditation session, right? So mindfulness is not just meditation, it is a way of life. And we do that throughout the day, but we jumpstart that with our meditation in the morning. By living more in the present, you can also focus on what's good for your body, starting with mindful eating. And I have a great webinar. If you're interested in the mindful eating webinar, you can go back to my website at doclulu.com and you can look. All my past webinars are there, and there's one for mindful eating, and that's a really good one to go back to if eating is your trigger and you're needing help with that. And this is when you really think about your food choices, right? When you're in that mindfulness state, is this food serving me? Is this food going to nurture me? Is this food really what my body needs? Or is it something that I'm doing out of stress eating, stress binging, or even stress not eating, right? So when we think about our food choices and indulge in each meal instead of being distracted and just grabbing any snack without thinking about it, that doesn't serve our body well in the long run, right? And so through mindful eating, you learn to notice the signs of actual hunger and not boredom or feeding your emotions, right? That's when we move into that state of not being mindful. We're not feeding our body, but we're feeding our emotions. And that can be a good thing, right? We sometimes it's really great to like listen to that emotion. Oh my gosh, I would love to have that. But is that emotion harming us in our state of health? Are we feeding a stress emotion? Are we feeding an anxiety emotion? Are we feeding a grief emotion? What are we feeding, right? And over time, you will notice that it changes your eating habits, which then eventually leads to weight loss. So that's really key. So, how does mindfulness meditation change our future success? So, all of these benefits, right, can help us in the future. So, we talked about weight loss, memory, focus, concentration, decreasing stress. You become more successful in your tasks on an everyday basis by being less stressed and more focused on the task at hand. and you stop trying to multitask. Like I mentioned, becoming a unitasker. I love that word, a unitasker, which really does wonders for you. And if you're one of the people, and myself included, that I am like, oh my gosh, I have this list of 30 things that I want to do, even just in an hour. Like, okay, I'm going to focus on one thing. And it actually, helps you to feel like you got something accomplished in a really positive way. And that helps you move forward in creating or getting more tasks done. And all these things you learn through mindfulness meditation are going to help you in the future. So, how to start doing mindfulness meditation? That's really key, right? Like, okay, we're talking about meditation, but how do we start doing it? You're like, no, Dr. Lulu, how do I start this? Okay, so let's break it down. So, first, you need to start by choosing the right place for your meditation. And I talked a little bit about that. So, first, schedule a time of the day when no one else is home or when you have few distractions. For me, I get up when the house is completely quiet, before my husband's up, before anything's happening in the house, where it's just me and the cats. They can sometimes be distracting, but the house is quiet, the neighborhood is quiet, all I can hear really is the birds. It's very peaceful. And you want to wait until like kids are at school or kids are asleep or your significant other or partner is otherwise engaged, right? And let the dogs out or let the cats out. Anything that's going to distract you, you want to learn that and then pick that time and schedule it in. So every little distraction, from a knock at the door to a cell phone ringing, make sure you have your cell phones off. It's going to break you out of that meditation, right? And so we really want to go into that place of peace. And you only need about 15 to 20 minutes to start with. So I also think that can be a lot for you if you're having some anxiety about starting meditation, and that, like, oh my gosh, 15 to 20 minutes, that seems like so much. Start less, do like 3 to 5 minutes, work your way up. I'm in the 15-minute zone. I do 15 minutes every day, give or take, right? That's perfect for me. I love that rhythm and it's really nice. And that's in my morning meditation practice. And for now, try to choose a place in the house where you can sit quietly and close your eyes, whether it's a nice chair or, I wouldn't recommend like really like laying down because you might go to sleep, but because you're going to have your eyes closed. So eventually, meditation can be anywhere you find relaxing, from driving to work to going for a walk or a hike. However, right now, you want to practice with your eyes closed because we want to tune in. So choose your bedroom, living room, or even on your patio if it's quiet and peaceful enough. So you're going to sit in that location with your eyes closed and in a relaxed position. So, get yourself comfortable. If you have some areas of your body that are causing some pain or inflammation, joint pain, use a pillow behind your back or cross your legs or have a stool, whatever. You want to be relaxed because you don't want your body to be talking to you with pain. I recommend having your back supported, and that will just allow you to just really relax. There's something called a back jack. You could look that up, BACKJACK, I think. And you can get one. Some people really like those. It's like kind of like a support for your back, and that can be really helpful. So you want to be in a relaxed position, and it should be positioned where you're not fidgeting or moving around constantly, where you can just really soak in, ground, and relax, and keep your back straight and your hands relaxed. What to focus on, right? I mentioned a little about this a little earlier. So once you've gotten into the right position, you can start with your mindfulness meditation. Traditional meditation calls for clearing your mind completely. So that's a good first step, but you might not be able to do that right away, right? So again, focus on your breathing first to clear your mind of all distractions, stressful situations, plans, and schedules. So doing that breath work is really key. Put your to-do list away, out of your mind. Watch your negative feelings and thoughts like float away. If something comes up repeatedly, what I will do myself and what I recommend is after your meditation, write that down. Like, okay, why was I keep thinking? Why was I going over this over and over again? Why did it keep coming up into my meditation? What can I do to release that thought pattern and move forward? So once you're only thinking about your breathing, your mind is in clear, like a clean slate. You can start from that mindfulness portion. And this is where you're focusing on just one thing and one thought, one scenario, that breath. You're being mindful about the present. So it can be as simple as thinking about the act of meditation or a scent you smell in the air. I'm going to talk about some essential oils that can be helpful. And what you focus on is not as important as the act of meditation to relax your body and mind. Does that make sense? That's really key there. So, what you focus on is not as important as the act of meditation, that relaxed state of mind, state of being. So find a singular object. So it can really help if you focus on a singular object. Like I mentioned, the refrigerator, the fan, or the air conditioning. I like to, in the early mornings, sometimes I'll open the windows if it's nice, and I like to listen to the birds. That can be a really good focus for me. Or at night, the crickets or the frogs, that repeating noise. So it's good to start with your eyes closed, that way that you can really like focus inward. You could hold something in your hand, for instance, like a crystal, like I have here. You can see this is a chrysocolla stone. It's good for protecting the environment. So it can be helpful to hold something in your hand to help kind of that body focus. And I recommend doing that with crystals. I have another great, if you missed a webinar this month, the crystals for self-care, go back and tune into that one, watch that one. That's a great one. I talk all about my favorite crystals for helping for self-care. And this can be, anything that you like, but don't use something that's distracting. So you're going to close your eyes and hold that object, touching its like details and curves, focusing on the sensations, the shape, the size, not letting any other thoughts creep in. So this is like that distraction technique, right? So it's like you're tuning into something to allow your mind to tune out. And you could also choose a visual object, such as focusing on a painting on the wall, but that's coming later in your meditation practice. First, just really focus on closing your eyes and tuning in to either a visual voice, like myself with the meditation we're going to do, or music. I like to do just like a peaceful, like spa music. That can be helpful as well. So, what you're doing is training your mind, right? So, our mind can be trained to anything. So, we're going to train our mind. We're going to release all thoughts and focus. We're going to focus on one singular thing. So be patient, be gentle with yourself, release all self-judgment. This is something new, or maybe you have had a meditation practice in the past and you're like just rebooting it, right? You're like, oh, I haven't done it in a while. And you start to feel guilty. What do I want to do? Just do it. Be patient, no self-judgment. Just get started. Just try it out. Remember to always be patient. Both mindfulness and meditation take practice, and it's not something you're going to pick up right away. You can, though. You can. I'm not saying you can't, but you need to be patient and gentle with yourself. People need to get used to clearing your mind, right? This is a new thing, and having a singular focus, just one focus. You've lived all these years on this planet multitasking, right? Do more and do more, multitask, do more, do everything at once, do it faster. So when we think about every little thing that could go wrong with all those doings, we just want to take a break from that. Time to relax, be in the moment, and be patient with ourselves. Okay, so let's talk about incorporating essential oils with meditation. I love this piece because it really allows us to go straight into the limbic system and allow the body to immediately relax. So these are my favorite essential oils, but there's also many, many different ones that you can use. So lavender is one of the best and most relaxing essential oil scents to start with. It's easy to purchase and it really is, widely available. It's perfect for stress relief. So we're talking about balancing our stress, using techniques to reduce our stressful situation. Lavender is perfect for that. It lowers our anxiety. It helps bring our body and mind into a complete state of relaxation, and you'll feel calm with the scent that isn't too strong or overbearing. So how do you use these essential oils I'm talking about? One, you could use them in a roll-on with a carrier oil on your pressure points, which will be like on your wrist, behind the ears, on the bottom of the feet, the back of the neck, at the occipital region, underneath at the base of the skull. All those are great pressure points. And you can also use it in a diffuser in your environment. I always put on a diffuser when I'm starting to meditate, just to help my body and mind to relax. I also kind of like the noise of it's very, very quiet, but the little like diffusing sound coming out. Also, you can just put a drop in the palms of your hands, rub your hands together, and then take a nice deep breath in and breathing out before your meditation practice to get your body to relax. So great ways you can use those. So lemon is great, especially good when you're doing the mindfulness meditation in the morning. It helps us have clarity and be clear for the day. It helps us to be a little bit more alert. So this is a fresh scent that also helps with improving your mood, reducing allergies, and improving your respiratory system. So a really lovely one. The other citrus families are good too. So grapefruit, tangerine, mandarin, wild orange, all of those are good as well. Peppermint. So peppermint is a bit stronger, but you can dilute it even or put a little bit less in your oil diffuser in your environment. It's great for oral health, respiratory support. So if you're finding yourself congested in the morning, I like to do a kind of like a breathing blend. I'll use a eucalyptus and peppermint and rosemary to wake up my respiratory system, because when we're focusing on the breath, we want to be able to take nice deep breaths, right? And it helps us to focus and concentrate. Really great. So like lemon, it's also a good mood lifter. And rose, so rose is a light floral scent that helps us calm and relax our mind. It also helps our body to relax. It's a wonderful one, good for beginners, and can easily be mixed with some of the other scents, especially because it's a little bit more expensive than the other ones. These are lavender, lemon, and peppermint on the lower financial scale, so to speak, not as expensive. So rose, you can just have one drop mixed in with your other oils. So thank you everyone for tuning in today, being present. If you're tuning in later, I hope you enjoyed this presentation today and you learned about techniques for mindfulness. And if you're really ready to de-stress at a much deeper level and reset your body and mind, think about how amazing your body, mind, and spirit could feel with even more nourishing food and healthy habits. If you're ready to love the body you're in and feel better than you have in years, it's time to try my proven system. I've worked with thousands of patients and it's worked for them and myself. And I created a small course just for the mindset, and just for all of us to really reset and to have that self-care piece that's really needed right now. It's called the Mindset Reset course. And for everyone that's tuning in to the webinar this evening, it's only $33 for the 5 weeks. It's a do-it-yourself program, which is great because you can just go at your own pace and tune in each week and just do the meditations and the guides you'll receive along the way. You can visit, there's the link there, and I'll send it out after the class as well. And then you can use the coupon Mindset Reset for that $33 price. And here's a little bit more information about the Mindset Reset course. So if you're feeling like you're really struggling with stress and burnout, you're not the only one, which is why I created this course. I want to really give everyone this place to help with the chronic stress. This series is going to help you recognize the signs and give you all the information you need to get through this phase in your life. So this is going to give you some really great techniques. You're going to learn about stress, burnout, and overwhelm, the role lifestyle factors play in stress, the changes to reduce stress and overwhelm, natural health remedies for alleviating chronic stress, really key, and more. You're going to love it. It starts on August the 1st. And like I said, it's a 5-week course, and there's the link again there. And if you're really ready to set up your self-care routine, but you don't want to do a course, you want to work with me on a one-on-one, schedule a free discovery call with me to find out how you can achieve optimal health, because I'm here to help you and support you. You can book on my website at doclulu.com. It's a free discovery call, or you can go right into a first initial appointment if that's something that you're ready to jump in. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at Dr. LuLu Shimmick to learn about health tips and recipes, free webinars, programs, and more. I'm doing tons of stuff all the time. Stay tuned for upcoming programs. I'm going to have a hormonal health program at the end of the summer, and then a gut restoration program in the fall and winter. And here's my new book. Oh my gosh, look at that beautiful cover. I just love it. So if you haven't gotten a copy yet, or you didn't even know I had a book, please get this book. It is amazing. If you've been traveling down a dead end road, if you think that you're stuck in patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving that cause you unrest, do you hear a voice within you hinting that there's some greater purpose? Are you ready to revolutionize how you think and feel and live? This book is life changing. It contains the keys for you to access your best self and live your most fulfilled life. You can easily get a copy on Amazon. I tried to put the link here, but you're watching it, but I'll send it out. But if you go to Amazon and just search Dr. LuLu, it'll come right up. Or you can also go to my website and click on the DNA book. So, again, thanks everyone for tuning in today. It's been a pleasure to be here with you and help you to learn all about mindfulness techniques and practices to help you balance stress.